Can you explain the physical analysis part of a reserve study?
There are two parts to a reserve study: the physical analysis and the financial analysis. The physical analysis is a study of each individual component that as a group make up the common elements of association. There are 5 parts of a physical analysis. Number 1, component list and quantification development. This is done in one of 2 ways: doing takeoffs from as-built drawings if any are available, or by physically measuring the components on site. Either way, it's very time consuming and adds cost to the first study. Once you've done this in your first study, any renewal studies thereafter can refer back to that first study and get the component list and the quantification or the quantity of each individual component, which will save a tremendous amount of time on your renewal studies. That's why the renewal studies shouldn't cost nearly as much as that first one. The second part of a physical analysis is the component condition assessments. It's done by on-site surface observations of each common element. It's used to determine the construction quality and the estimated remaining useful life of each element. The third part of a physical analysis is the useful life or service life estimates. This is generally based on tables, and it's sometimes adjusted for quality of construction and exposure to the weather and the environment. A good example, in coastal communities, the exterior surfaces of the buildings and along the coast, the immediate coast, won't last as long as they will in an inland situation, just because the environment along the immediate coast is so much more abusive with the salt air and whatnot. The fourth part of a physical analysis is the remaining useful life estimates. The remaining useful life estimates can be adjusted from the tables. It's based on current observations. You ask the question, when will this component need to be replaced? What year? And sometimes that's kind of difficult to determine in a long-range situation. Example, vinyl siding, a lot of tables say a 40-year life expectancy, but certainly if it's on the coast, it's not going to last that long. Or if it's a dark color, it will fade and chalk a lot worse than a light color. And by 30 years, the people of the homeowners association may not like the way it looks because it looks so drab with the fading and chalking, and decide they want to replace it in 30 years rather than in 40 years. The color may be the only thing wrong with it, but if it's an eyesore, a lot of times it needs to be replaced. The fifth part of the physical analysis are the current replacement cost estimates. This considers the labor to remove the existing material and the cost to haul it to the landfill and pay landfill tip fees necessary to dispose of it, in addition to the cost of replacing the material new. Those are the 5 parts to a physical analysis.